everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Captain America Secret Wars 6-inch Marvel Legends Captain America figure from Hasbro. Now this figure is part of the new Abomination Build-A-Figure wave, which is not yet here in the United States, should very soon, probably later this month. It is out overseas. The figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we've been seeing with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the black box, the logo up at the top, the figure clearly displayed, and then the name down below. Off to the side, you've got artwork for the character, and then on the back of the packaging, you have a look at the actual figure. You have a bio in multiple languages, and then down below, it shows you all the figures you need to get in order to complete the Abomination Build-A-Figure. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging, and first of all, let me just say, for those of you watching here in the United States, today is the 4th of July, and I just want to wish you all a happy and safe 4th. And I figure, what better figure to review on the 4th of July than old Mr. Patriotic himself, Captain America. Now granted, he's not wearing his traditional red, white, and blue outfit with this figure, but still, like I said, you don't get any more patriotic than old Cap. So the figure comes with a number of accessories, including the right arm for the Abomination figure. We'll be looking at the Abomination in his own video review once we have all the pieces assembled. Actually, I'll probably do it maybe even sooner. I don't know exactly when, maybe later this week or early next week. So be sure to check back for that. Also comes with Cap's shield, and this is the same type of shield we've seen with many of these figures. You've got the little peg on the back, and you can push it down, and then you've got the little clip for the wrist. It's just smooth on the underside. Now this shield does have a little bit darker colors than we generally see. You've got the metallic silver, and then you've got a darker red, and then a dark blue, and again a metallic silver for the star. And this is more in keeping with the outfit that he's wearing with this particular figure. Something new that we're seeing with this particular Cap figure is this shield throwing gimmick that they've included. So you get this extra right hand, and then you've got this translucent red plastic attached to it. It's kind of clear here near the hand, and then it turns red as it comes out and gets wider. And this is supposed to mimic him throwing his shield. So what you do is you take the shield and you make sure the little peg end is sticking out, and then you plug it into this hole. And then you take the figure and you remove the right hand. You just pull it off, and the hand's just attached with little pegs, and then you plug in this alternate hand. And then it's supposed to basically mimic that he's throwing his shield. Now I will say I like the idea of this, but I don't think it looks that good. Also, it kind of makes the figure forward heavy, so he'll fall over easy. But I do think, what I would suggest is they turn this plastic completely clear, so it, you don't see it at all, so it looks like the shield's just floating there in the air. I think that would be cooler. And then maybe do a little better job with the sculpting of the hand, so it's more in a pose like he's throwing. I don't know, this wide out pose that they've given it just doesn't really look right to me. So it's really kind of hard to get him in a pose where it looks like he's really throwing it with this. I do like the idea of it, but I think they could improve upon it if they want to use the gimmick with future figures. Of course, with the shield, you don't have to use the throwing gimmick. You can use it like you use the shield on all the figures. You can clip it onto his wrist, either wrist, and then you can also peg it into his back, so it looks like he's holding the shield on his back. Figure itself, now there's been a lot of confusion about this costume when this figure was first announced at Toy Fair back in February. A lot of you thought this was the costume that he's currently wearing in the comic books right now, and though there are some similarities between the two, especially with the color scheme, this is not that costume. This is actually a costume that appeared in the Secret War miniseries back in, I think, in 2004. Not the Secret Wars with the Beyonder, not the more recent Secret Wars. This was something different. This is where Nick Fury recruits some heroes, some select heroes, including Cap. And so the thing is, what makes this even more obscure is he didn't actually wear this costume in that story, but there's like a behind the scenes thing where they talk about where the original idea was they were going to give all the characters these alternate costumes so that the public wouldn't be able to recognize them or something along those lines. And this was the costume that they had designed for Captain America, but he doesn't actually wear it in the comic book. So again, this is a very obscure costume, and if you don't recognize it, it's certainly understandable. Now this figure, the figure itself, is just a repaint primarily of the Cap Wolf mold. The body, the legs, the feet, the gloves are all repaints of this figure here. So the belt is different. They gave it a different belt, but everything else else, and the heads are different, but everything else on this figure is just a repaint of this one. For the head sculpt on this figure, I believe this is a repaint of the head that was used on the Captain America that came in that Target 3-pack a year or so ago. I don't believe this is a new head sculpt and just a repaint of that one. As far as the paint applications go on this figure, they're basic, but I think they're pretty solid, no real sloppiness. For the head, you've got the wings that are painted on, and they do look like this in the comic book with the little wing that comes down to his ear, so that's accurate to how it appeared in the comic. And they've used a metallic silver, and then he's got the red stripe, and then this whitish gray one in the middle, and then another red stripe that go over his forehead. The ears stick out on the mask on this one, and I think the skin tone is decent. Eyes look pretty good for the most part. You've got dark blues for most of the costume, and then a dingy kind of whitish gray with the red striping. And then for the belt, as I said, this is a different belt than what appears on the Cap Wolf, and they've done a wash work on it. I don't know if this belt's been used on other figures. I haven't placed it, but it's not the same belt that's on the Cap Wolf. And I like the metallic silver with the black wash work that they've done on that. The star on the back, I don't know, I haven't gotten a good look at the back, so I don't know if this is accurate. It looks a little small to me. I don't know if that's because it's got the hole on the back and they had to make it small. I think it would have been better if the star was bigger, but again, I don't know if that's accurate to the comic or if they just made it that small because of the hole on the back. He's got the larger star on the front, and I do think that looks good with the metallic silver, and then he's got metallic silver on the knee pads. The boots scream Black Knight to me. Every time I see these boots, I think of Black Knight. And again, that is accurate to how it looked in the comics, but I think these look like he stole his boots from Black Knight or something. Same with the gloves. You've got that red striping with the dark blue. Now with the gloves, you do have the metallic silver for the over the knuckles, the metal pieces, and on the thumb and stuff. So nice detailing there. And then you've got, again, this dingy stripe, the white stripe that goes down his leg. So again, even though basic paint applications, I think they've done a nice job of capturing the look of this costume. This figure stands just under 6 3/4 inches tall. Here's a comparison with other Hasbro Captain America figures. So we've got the Sam Wilson cap, the Cap Wolf, which is the same height as this Captain America Secret War cap. Then we've got the Target 3-pack cap and the Marvel Now cap, which are shorter. And then finally, here's a comparison with some of Cap's Secret War buddies: Wolverine, Nick Fury, the more recent Nick Fury, pizza-eating Spider-Man, Daredevil, and then the Black Widow, Winter Soldier Black Widow, which is my go-to Black Widow figure. Articulation on this figure is the same as the Cap Wolf figure. The head, you can turn left, you can turn right. It's got good down movement. It's got good up movement. You can pivot a little bit to the left and to the right. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint so you can get his arm out good. Good rotation there. It's got a bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, so good bending there. Swivels at the wrist, hinges on the hands, so good up and down movement with the hands. Has an ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down pretty good, and he can look back pretty good. You get that clicking noise. He's got a waist swivel, legs attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg up pretty good, and he can do his leg out and back. He's got a thigh swivel, double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. Has a boot cuff swivel, hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement with the feet, and has ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. So that's my review. So while this is a very obscure costume that they've chosen, I do like the look of it. I actually like the look of it better than the one he's currently wearing in the comic books. And while the figure is just a repaint, I think it works well with this figure. Now I will suggest if they want to keep using this mold and repainting it, give us a new US Agent, because I think this mold works perfectly for US Agent. And while I like the first US Agent figure they gave us, I do think it's a little bit on the small side. So just for future reference, Hasbro, if you're watching, give us a US Agent with this mold. As it is, though, like I said, I do like the look of this costume and think it works well with this figure. The shield throwing gimmick, I like the idea of it, but I do think they could improve upon it if they want to use it on future figures. Now, the wave with this figure is not yet out in the United States. It'll be out probably later this month or next month at the latest, but I think it'll probably start seeing it later this month at some point. It is out overseas currently. We'll have a full gallery of images up at marvelousnews.com. There's a link in the video description below to that. And as always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. There'll also be links in the video descriptions to those. And until next time, I'll catch you later.